The return of Jungkook and Jin to public activities marks an important moment in the timeline of BTS's career, both for the group and for the fanbase known as ARMY. This event follows a period of absence caused by individual schedules, mandatory commitments, and strategic planning by the group's management. Understanding the context behind this return requires a look at the events leading up to their hiatus, the roles each member played during their time away, and the logistical considerations that have shaped BTS's collective activities over the years. BTS, a globally recognized music group originating from South Korea, consists of 7 members: RM, Jin, Suga, J-Hope, Jimin, V, and Jungkook. Since their debut in 2013, the group has maintained a high level of activity, consistently releasing music, touring internationally, and engaging in public appearances. However, as the members have matured and their careers expanded beyond group projects, individual pursuits and mandatory obligations have influenced their schedules. For South Korean male citizens, one of the most significant obligations is mandatory military service, a period in which they must temporarily step back from their professional careers. Jin, the eldest member of BTS, was the first in the group to enlist for military service, beginning his duty in December 2022. His enlistment marked the start of a phased approach to military service for the group, with each member fulfilling their requirements at different times. This staggered enlistment plan allowed BTS to maintain some level of activity as a group while ensuring compliance with South Korean law. Jin's departure from public schedules was widely acknowledged by both local and international media, as it represented a milestone in BTS's journey toward balancing their careers with national service obligations. Jungkook, the youngest member, did not enlist alongside Jin but pursued solo and group-related activities during the initial phase of Jin's service. His work included solo music releases, appearances on various media platforms, and brand collaborations. However, by late 2023, Jungkook also began to step back from certain activities in preparation for his own enlistment. His reduced visibility in public events coincided with a broader period of transition for BTS, as other members also began fulfilling their service requirements. The timeline between Jin's enlistment and the eventual return of both him and Jungkook reflects a period of adaptation for BTS and their fanbase. The group's management, Big Hit Music, under HYB Corporation, maintained a steady communication strategy, updating fans through official channels about the members' service progress and projected timelines for their return. These updates help sustain public interest and prevent speculation from overtaking verified information. In early 2025, discussions around the return of certain BTS members began to gain momentum. Various media outlets speculated about possible reunion events, though official confirmation was provided only through Big Hit's formal statements. The company emphasized that any public appearances by returning members would be planned with careful consideration for both the members' readiness and the group's overall schedule. This deliberate approach aligned with BTS's history of managing high-profile events with precision and strategic timing. The decision to plan a joint return involving both Jungkook and Jin was significant for several reasons. First, it marked the reappearance of the eldest and youngest members together in a public setting after a period of separate activities. Second, it provided an opportunity for BTS to reconnect with ARMY in a way that highlighted both individual growth and group unity. Finally, it reinforced the group's image as a collective that remains committed to its fans even after extended absences. The return was scheduled to coincide with a larger set of BTS-related activities, ensuring that the event was not an isolated moment, but part of a broader narrative. This included new music production plans, updates on other members' service timelines, and potential concert discussions. While the return itself was framed as a reunion with fans, its underlying purpose extended to re-establishing BTS's active presence in the global music market. From a logistical perspective, organizing the return of 2 high-profile artists required coordination across multiple teams, including management, security, event planners, and media liaisons. The choice of venue, timing, and audience capacity had to balance fan enthusiasm with safety protocols. Given BTS's global influence, Any public appearance would attract significant attention both domestically and internationally, necessitating comprehensive planning to manage the scale of the event. For ARMY, the return of Jungkook and Jin was a moment that represented continuity in BTS's career. Although the group had experienced periods of reduced joint activity, the return signaled that their long-term trajectory remained intact. In the broader context of K-pop, such reunions often serve as key turning points, allowing artists to reintegrate into the industry and reconnect with their audience. And examining the historical context of BTS's milestones, it becomes clear that the group has navigated numerous transitions without losing momentum. Their approach to balancing group and solo activities, while meeting mandatory national obligations, has become a model for other artists in similar positions. The return of Jungkook and Jin fits within this larger pattern of careful scheduling, strategic planning, and sustained fan engagement. As the first chapter in understanding this reunion, it is important to note that the return was not simply a spontaneous occurrence, but the result of long-term preparation. The combination of official communication, media management, and logistical execution underscores the complexity of bringing two members back into public activities simultaneously. This complexity will become even more apparent when considering the specific details of each member's journey before, during, and after their time away from the group. Before stepping back from public schedules in preparation for military service, Jungkook maintained a steady and diverse range of professional activities. These included music production, live performances, brand endorsements, and media appearances, both within and outside the scope of BTS's group operations. His pre-hiatus career period offers valuable insight into how BTS members balance individual artistic pursuits with the demands of their collective identity. Following the announcement of BTS's adjusted group activities in mid-2022, Jungkook began to take on more solo-oriented projects. His role as the main vocalist of BTS was already well established, but this period allowed him to further define his personal artistic style. One of the most notable examples of his solo work during this time was the release of singles that highlighted his vocal range and songwriting skills. His releases were accompanied by promotional appearances on music programs, streaming platforms, and interviews with domestic and international media. Jungkook also collaborated with a number of artists across different genres. These collaborations extended beyond the K-pop industry, reflecting BTS's global influence and network. Some were officially released tracks, while others took the form of live performances during special events, such as award shows or charitable concerts. These opportunities not only showcased Jungkook's adaptability as a performer, but also strengthened his presence as a solo artist within the international music market. In addition to music, Jungkook remained active in various promotional campaigns. His work with global brands included appearances in commercials, online advertisements, and social media campaigns. Given his influence on consumer behavior, particularly among younger audiences, his endorsement deals were strategically selected to align with both his personal image and BTS's broader brand strategy. Companies that partnered with him often saw significant spikes in online engagement and product visibility. During this pre-hiatus period, Jungkook maintained a visible connection with fans through digital platforms. Social media updates, live broadcasts, and behind-the-scenes content offered insights into his daily routines, music production process, and preparation for public events. This consistent online presence played a role in sustaining fan engagement during times when group activities were less frequent. Performance-wise, Jungkook participated in select BTS events, including fan meetings, limited concerts, and official ceremonies. Even as the group adapted to reduced joint schedules due to military enlistments, he contributed to maintaining the group's visibility. His stage performances during this time often integrated both solo and group material, allowing audiences to experience his individual artistry while still recognizing his role within BTS. Jungkook's work ethic was evident in the way he managed overlapping commitments. Between recording sessions, rehearsals, brand shoots, and live appearances, his schedule was tightly structured. Industry reports noted that such activity levels required coordinated management efforts to prevent conflicts between promotional obligations and personal preparation for future commitments, including military service. BY mid-2023. the gradual shift in Jungkook's activity pattern began to emerge. From a career development perspective, this stage of Jungkook's activities demonstrated the strategic approach BTS and its management employ when transitioning members into hiatus periods. By maintaining consistent output, managing brand visibility, and engaging audiences across multiple platforms, Jungkook was able to sustain his relevance in the music industry and set the stage for a smooth return after his service. The lead-up to his temporary departure was characterized by careful balancing between fulfilling existing commitments and preparing for the shift in focus that military service would require. This balance ensured that his eventual return, alongside Jin, would be positioned not as a reintroduction to the public, but as a continuation of an already active career trajectory. I end the following chapter. Attention will shift to Jin's activities before his enlistment, examining how the eldest member of BTS prepared for his own hiatus and the ways in which his career path differed from that of Jungkook during this transitional period, before commencing his mandatory military service in December 2022. Jin maintained a structured schedule that balanced BTS's group responsibilities, individual artistic projects, and various public engagements. As the eldest member of the group, his career approach during this pre-hiatus period was marked by both his contributions to BTS's ongoing activities and the deliberate planning of solo work that could be completed before his enlistment. Jin's professional focus during this time included music releases, appearances on entertainment programs, and participation in brand endorsements. One of the most significant milestones in his pre-hiatus career was the release of his solo single, The Astronaut, in October 2022. The song, created in collaboration with the British band Coldplay, was promoted through live performances and interviews, including a high-profile appearance with Coldplay during their world tour stop in Argentina. This project served as a capstone to his active public work before entering military service, showcasing his vocal capabilities in a context distinct from BTS's group sound. In addition to his solo release, Jin participated in select BTS group activities in the months leading up to his hiatus. These included concerts, fan events, and promotional appearances for group projects. While the group's large-scale touring activities had been adjusted due to the staggered enlistment schedules of its members, Jin remained involved in maintaining the group's visibility in both domestic and international media. Outside of music, Jin's pre-hiatus activities included appearances on South Korean variety and talk shows. His segments often featured lighthearted interactions, cooking demonstrations, and personal anecdotes, providing audiences with a different perspective on his personality. These appearances helped to diversify his professional image and maintain public engagement during a transitional phase for BTS. Jin also continued his role as a brand ambassador for several domestic and international companies. His endorsements ranged from luxury fashion labels to consumer goods, with campaigns appearing across television, print, and online platforms. The timing of these endorsements was coordinated to ensure brand visibility even during his absence, with some promotional materials being produced in advance for post-enlistment release. In the months leading up to his enlistment, Jin engaged in direct fan interaction through live streaming platforms and BTS's official social media channels. While maintaining a professional tone, these interactions allowed him to share updates, provide insights into his preparation for military service, and offer messages of gratitude to the group's supporters. This approach aligned with BTS's broader communication strategy of maintaining transparency with their fanbase while avoiding speculative commentary. Jin's decision to begin military service ahead of other BTS members was a practical one, based on his age relative to the group and the legal requirement for South Korean men to enlist before a specific deadline.